Today, you'll experience the life of a World Cup champion. Right now, you're just a street kid. The scorching concrete burns your bare feet. You're 7 years old, running barefoot through the slums alleys, dribbling a ball made from plastic bags and tape. The goal is to stones. The stands are clotheslines and stray dogs. No one taught you how to dribble. You learned by dodging potholes and those fierce tackles from the older kids who laughed loudly. You figured it out yourself. There are no referees, no whistles. If you get knocked down, you either get back up or go home. But when you run with the ball, something indescribable happens. The world quiets down. The street's noise fades away. Only you remain. The football and the gap between the defender's legs. You stop thinking about money for food or the holes in your shoes. You are free. One afternoon, the older kids were picking teams. One of them pointed at you. He's with me. You're 4 years younger than everyone else on the field. You play as if your life depends on it, deep in your heart. And you know, maybe it truly does. You become a local youth player. One Saturday, someone from the community team came looking for you. He watched you from the sidelines. Without saying a word after the game, he walked over. You're playing for us now. He handed you a jersey. It was worn with someone else's name on the back. It didn't matter. It was the first real football kit you'd ever owned. Your first pair of boots was a size too big, so you stuffed the toes with newspaper. The coach made you run laps. Run until you threw up. Faster. He'd yell that you still played like you were on the street. Pass the ball. You listened, learning when to pass and when to dribble. On weekends, you played in tournaments. The opposing kids wore matching kits and had professional gear. You just had a faded jersey and shin pads held together with tape. But once the whistle blew, none of that mattered. You scored a hat-trick in the local cup final. There were only about 40 people there, but it sounded like 40,000. Your mom was on the sidelines, fighting back tears. She worked 2 jobs, just so you could play. You didn't know it then, but someone in the crowd was taking notes. You became an academy player. After one tournament, a scout approached your coach. He didn't speak to you. Instead, he went to your mom. 2 weeks later, you were sitting in the office of a professional club's academy. They slid a piece of paper across the table. We want you. Your first night in the dorms, at 13. You lay in your bunk, listening to a kid from another city cry himself to sleep. You'd been away from home for 2 weeks. You wanted to cry too, but you only shed silent tears. There were 30 kids in your age group. The club would only keep about 5. Every few months, you'd watch someone get cut. They'd pack their bags and vanish. 6 months ago, some of them were even better than you. The difference was, you kept improving while they hit a wall. Your dad called once a week. When are you coming home? You happily lied to him. You would never return to that alley. Not as long as you could help it. You would never go back. By 16, you were the best player in your age group. First team coaches started watching your games. After a game, one coach met your eye and gave a nod, just a nod. Nothing more. But it was enough to make you a reserve team player. You made it to the reserves. At 18, the academy director called you into his office and told you that you'd been promoted. You didn't celebrate. You just nodded, then walked out and called your mom. Her scream was so loud, you had to hold the phone away from your ear. Your first day walking into the senior team changing room. No one looked at you. These guys had mortgages, kids, and endorsements. Contracts, and you were just a kid with gel in your hair and brand new, shiny boots. The captain glanced at you and told you to find your locker. That was your welcome. Training intensity was a whole other world. Passes were sharper, faster, defenders were stronger, smarter when a senior center back first knocked you to the ground. You realized you were far from the best player. In that changing room, you started playing in the reserve league. 200 people in the stands, sometimes even fewer. Pitches were rough, tackles were fiercer. No one made friends here. Everyone was fighting to prove themselves worthy of the next level. You scored 12 goals in the reserve season. Most nights, you'd go home and repeatedly watch first team highlights, studying their runs and movements. Your agent told you to be patient. Then, after one training session, the head coach pulled you aside. Be ready. Just that one sentence. You didn't sleep a wink that night. You made your professional debut. A Tuesday night league game, the 72nd minute of the game. Your team was leading 2-0. The fourth official held up the electronic board, and your number was on it. You stood up, Your legs were trembling. The 30,000 strong stadium. You could hear your own heartbeat over everything else. You stepped onto the pitch. The grass under your boots felt completely different. Softer, more pristine. Everything was faster than any training session. Louder, a low corner kick came to your feet. You controlled it cleanly. The crowd didn't react. They didn't know who you were yet. In 18 minutes, you touched the ball 5 times. No standout moments, but no mistakes either. The final whistle blew. The captain shakes your hand. Well done, son. That night, kid. You watched the replay on your phone 6 times. You screenshot your debut and sent it to your mom. The papers didn't mention you, but your name was in the official match report. You were now a professional footballer. And you weren't intimidated. You became a local star. 2 seasons later, you were a regular starter. The fans sang your name. You scored 19 goals this season. Your face was on billboards all over the city. Kids wore your jersey to school. The club offered you a new contract. The salary was a figure your family had never seen. You bought your mom a house. A proper house with a garden. A front door and a roof that didn't leak. She stood at the doorway for a long time without saying a word. You held back your emotions until she walked inside. You are now the team's attacking core. The coach builds the tactics around you. When you get the ball in space, the whole stadium erupts. You score a stunning free kick in the derby. The entire city goes wild. Strangers stop you on the street. Restaurants won't let you pay, but after 3 games without a goal, the same fans who praised you start to boo. Newspapers say you're past your prime. TV pundits say you lack the mentality for big games. Next weekend, you score twice, and they fall in love with you again. It's a cycle. They lift you up, then tear you down. You learn to block it all out, to focus on the football. Football has never betrayed you. Your agent calls. We need to talk, he says. An English club has made an offer. You're moving to Europe. A $40 million transfer fee. At the press conference, you hold up the jersey. Flashbulbs flicker like lightning. You smile. But inside, your emotions are a storm. Everything is different now. The language, the weather, the food, the league's pace. You went from being your country's best player to just another member of a team full of internationals. The substitute playing your position has 30 caps for his national team. The first 3 months are incredibly tough. 7 games, no goals. The media calls you a flop. Fans of your old club say you should have stayed. At 2 a.m., you call your mom. She tells you, as you've come too far, that to stop now. Then, something clicks. You score twice in a crucial match. Start linking up with the midfield. You learn the local language, find your favorite restaurants. The city slowly starts to feel like home. The season wraps up. You finish with 14 goals and 9 assists. The fans sing new songs for you. After the last home game, a child waits for you at the tunnel entrance, holding your jersey and a marker pen. His hands are trembling. You remember that feeling. You sign it and hand it back to him, telling him to keep working hard. You become a Champions League player. Your team reaches the top 4 in the league. For the first time in your career, you step onto a Champions League. The anthem plays. It's the sound you knew from watching it on TV. As a child, on that familiar sound you used to pretend you were walking out of the tunnel. Now you're actually standing here. The spotlights are brighter than anything you've ever seen. 70,000 spectators. The opponent is a world-class powerhouse. Their centre-back has won 3 league titles. Their goalkeeper saved a penalty. In a World Cup shootout, you used to have posters of these players on your wall. The group stage flies by. 6 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. Your team advances to the knockout stage. The quarterfinal is a tough 2-legged battle. In the 88th minute of the second leg, you score the winning goal. You sprint towards the corner, arms outstretched. The roar of the crowd washes over you like a wave. The semi-final, though, is a different story. You lose. After the match, you sit on the pitch, staring at the ground. The opponent's celebrations are clearly audible 50 yards away. A teammate sits beside you, placing a hand on your shoulder. We'll come back next year. You nod. But you know next year is never a guarantee. Nothing here is guaranteed. The return flight is silent. You put on your headphones and look out the window. Below you is an entire continent, countless children. Who would give anything to be in your shoes right now? You close your eyes. Tomorrow, training as usual. You've become a global superstar. 3 seasons playing in Europe, 1 league title, 1 Champions League trophy. Commentators no longer debate if you're good. They debate if you're the best. You still arrive earlier than everyone 45 minutes early for training. You still repeatedly study opponent videos until your eyes ache. That has never changed. Everything else has. Your face is on video game covers. You have 80 million followers on social media. 2 league titles. 1 Champions League title, that volley in the final. It will be replayed for 50 years. You're on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. And part of the debate for the world's best player. In countries you've never even visited. TV commentators argue about your performance. Your boot contract is $20 million a year. You own a clothing brand, a charity foundation, and a perfume you've never even worn yourself. But none of this has changed how you feel when the ball hits the net. Money and fame are just extras. Football is the only addiction. You're 28, in your prime. Every touch is precise. Every run is calculated. You can predict passing lanes 3 seconds ahead. Defenders know you're about to make a move, but still can't stop you. Coaches devise entire tactics to contain you. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, it's futile. After games, reporters ask what drives you. You give the standard answer, team. Victory, the badge, but the real answer, you'll never say into a microphone. Every time you step onto the pitch, you still feel like that kid from the slum. And he fears that one day, this feeling will disappear. He has become the national team captain. In the players' tunnel, they put the captain's armband on him. Behind him are 22 teammates willing to go through hell and high water for the crest on their chest. The national anthem plays. 60,000 compatriots sing in unison. His lips move, but no sound comes out. His throat is choked with emotion. When they win, the whole nation celebrates. When they lose, the whole nation mourns. Taxi drivers want to discuss tactics with him. Grandmas recognize him at the airport. Kids name their dogs after him. A captain's duty isn't just to play well, but to lead. At halftime, the team is down 0-2. A young player sits in the corner of the locker room, head down. He's 19 and gave away the penalty for the second goal. He sits beside him. No long speeches. Just looks him in the eye. I was exactly like you once. Follow me back out there. 10 minutes later, he scores the equalizer. Press conferences are full of tough questions. Fans crave trophies. Football Association politics are draining. But when he leads the team out, hears that roar, and sees the flags covering the stands, none of it matters anymore. He carries this weight because no one else can. His country hasn't won the World Cup in 20 years. Newspapers call it a curse. Fans say worse. But looking at this team now, glancing around at his teammates in the locker room, he knows this is their chance. He can feel himself becoming a World Cup legend. 89th minute of the final. The score is 1-1. His legs are completely spent. Under 30-degree heat. You've been running for 89 minutes. Your body is begging you to stop. 80,000 people are in the stadium. 1 billion are watching at home. Your mom is somewhere in the stands. You can't find her, but you know she's there. The ball drops to your midfielder. He looks up and sees your run. This run, you've run it in alleyways, on dirt pitches at youth academies, in reserve games with 200 people, and in Champions League matches with 70,000. You've run it countless times. You've spent your whole life running this route. The pass arrives, perfectly weighted. The centre-back is right on you. He's been glued to you all game. He's fast, smart, the best defender in the tournament. You meet him. He closes in, trying to push you wide. You fake left with your shoulder. He falls for it, and you cut inside. Now it's just you and the keeper. The stadium disappears. The noise disappears. And strangely, for a moment, you're back in that alleyway. Barefoot on the hot concrete. Kicking a ball made of tape. The goals are 2 stones. That feeling you had at 7 years old comes back. When the ball is at your feet, the world falls silent. You chip it with power. Right into the top corner. The net ripples. You don't hear the crowd. Not for a moment, not yet. Just silence. The ball rests quietly in the net. 80,000 people hold their breath simultaneously. Then the roar hits you. It's deafening. A sound you've never felt before. Your teammates are sprinting towards you. You slide on your knees across the grass. Someone leaps onto your back. One after another, you're buried at the bottom of the pile. Screaming, crying, and laughter all erupt at once. The game is over. You've won. The trophy is brought to the podium. You ascend the steps. Teammates behind you lift the trophy with both hands, raising it high, above all those who once said kids from the slums would never amount to anything. Confetti streams down. Fireworks shoot into the sky. Outside the national stadium, people will erect a statue in your honor and name streets after you. Children yet unborn will watch this goal and be inspired to play. But somewhere in the stands right now, Mom is crying. You raise the trophy high with one hand, searching for his face in the crowd. You found him in the third tier of the stands. His hands covering his mouth, wearing your jersey. He looks exactly like he did at that local cup final. On the sidelines all those years ago. That was the day. Someone in the crowd took note of a kid with newspaper stuffed into his shoe. You lift the trophy in his direction. He nods. Just that. Like the nod your coach gave you when you were 16. No words were needed then, but it meant more than 1,000 words.